All right. Let's get down to business. It's been a while. I just recently, on my birthday, I am 23 years old. I published a video of me playing Apex Legends on Twitch. Link is in the description to that down below. If you would like to see me stream things, I'm currently playing We Happy Few. It is a very good game. I think it should be a movie. And that is what the topic is today. 10 games that have the greatest potential to succeed as a movie. And when I say that, I mean games that aren't the games that they've been using. Like, there are tons of, like, game movies. There are tons of game movies that have come out that are terrible. Sonic is one of them. It just doesn't make sense to make Sonic a character that we follow. It just makes legitimately no sense. So, without further ado, I will discuss the 10 games that have the greatest potential to succeed as a movie. 1. Dishonored. Only the first one, because the second one kind of retcons and changes things. The only thing I would take from the second one is Corvo's voice, because of course if we make a movie, the protagonist cannot be silent like he is in the original. I think without the downloadable content, I think Dishonored, the first one, is like a really good game. It's the voice actors speaks into, like I said, it's set like a movie already. You really don't, you just have to like basically put it there, okay? Despite the choices the character can make, there's a book with clear results that the movie could use. The world building was amazing, and the movie should be too. Like, there's no reason to get Dishonored wrong, but everything that comes in Dishonored is just like great. I don't understand why they haven't made a Dishonored movie. I really think it's because Corvo's silent. They're stupid if they think that they can't fix that. Like, they can't fix the fact that he's silent. They can do that with anyone. But whatever, I digress. Number 2, Silent Hill Downpour. Filled with many characters, less enemies. Interesting story, multiple endings, but only one makes sense, honestly. The movie should be called Revenge, like, because that's what it's really about. Downpour, it looks cool on the cover, but Downpour really has nothing to do with what it's about. And also, there's tons of Silent Hill games. The first Silent Hill movie they ever turned into a movie, they straight up used the archetypes from the very first Silent Hill game. And it's kind of annoying that they switched the guy to a girl, because the screenwriter or whoever was like, oh, well, I think a woman would have more motherly, like, oh my gosh, just make it a guy and make him the way he's supposed to be. Hello, like, are you there? But whatever. Number 3, The Evil Within. Only the first one. Like I said, the second, with every game, when you have a second one, it's just, they don't do it as well. They just don't. I can't think of one where it was like, I don't remember. I can't think of one where there's 2 and it's good. It's just as good as the first one. But The Evil Within first game is so good. It looks like a movie already. It looks like night noir. Like, it's just beautiful. It's got a small amount of main characters, so we don't have to really keep track of 30,000 people. Like, the game is set like a movie, like I said, with Dishonored. It's got a linear story. It makes adaptation easy. It can be a movie or a series. Like, there's a lot that was left unanswered in the first game, that the second game, that they don't even care. It's just like, literally in the beginning of the second game, they're like, okay, forget everything you knew about the first game, because we're not doing that. Like, Ruvik escaped. So why isn't the second game about that? You know why? Because y'all can't make it make sense. Y'all knew that didn't make sense. The ending of the first one didn't really make sense. Like, it would have made sense if Ruvik kind of went into his mind, went into Sebastian's mind, but I can't make your games for you. Like I said, put me on the payroll. I got y'all. Number 4, Silent Hill: The Room. Another Silent Hill game, but The Room has a nice story and semi-linear, like, situation. Like, you have to backtrack for some things, but you don't have to backtrack for a movie. There's not much to talk about The Room because it's an old game and you'll probably never play it, but you can look on videos and stuff of people like playing it, and it's really good. Number 5, Batman: Arkham Asylum. This is the one and only Arkham game that is worth anything. The rest of them are bad. Sometimes they don't have the right voice actors. Sometimes things look crazy. Sometimes things don't make sense. If this happened, then why is this happening? Nope. Just the very first one. Everything intact. Nothing changed from the first one. It's fine. The second one kills Joker. What are you doing? You know you cannot kill your bread and butter. You just can't. It just won't work to have a second one. Just like the Dark Knight killed off Joker. Heath Ledger passed away, but they have no problem switching people out when they pass away. For example, Harry Potter, the first one had a different Dumbledore than the rest of them because he passed away. He was very elderly, and they just got another elderly man that sounded and looked nothing like him. They really could care less. Hollywood just wants to make money. But you don't have to be blind. You can actually look for someone that actually looks like the people that you're trying to make into this thing, but whatever. There's a nice group of villains in Arkham Asylum, not just Joker. There's tons of villains. And it's got a very linear story. You have to backtrack a lot, but you don't have to backtrack a lot in a freaking Batman game. Keep the same voice actors with Batman and with Joker. I don't know that dude's name by heart. That's Batman. But he's in the Arkham Asylum if you look him up. And then Mark Hamill, who was y'all's Luke Skywalker, he's the best Joker of all time. Don't at me. Second best of all time is Jack Nicholson. Don't at me. People like to say it's Heath Ledger because he passed away. When it's alright, I would put him in third. But The Dark Knight doesn't do it for me. And half of the reason is because of what they did with the characters. Like, Catwoman should always be black. When she's not black, it's a disgrace because Eartha Kitt was the very first Catwoman to ever be portrayed on television. So, I don't care if she's a thief and she's all this, that, and the other. She's a good thief. Make her black, because that's the way it should be. Eartha Kitt was black. Make every Catwoman's black. I don't care how bad you think Halle Berry's Catwoman was. Doesn't matter. When one white person does something wrong, y'all don't say, well, all white people can't do this. But when black people, one person messes up, you just say, okay, well, that's the rest of y'all too. But whatever. Let's continue. Number 6. 6 is one of my all-time favorites games in the world. It's better than GTA 5. It is better than GTA 5. If it had online, it would definitely be popping now. It's called Sleeping Dogs. The storyline is awesome. Characters are good. Every video game I'm talking about, I'll do it like a quick bit or something with it. But Sleeping Dogs is amazing. The main character is amazing. There are some side quests that don't make sense in correlation to what happens at the end, and it's whatever, but it can be changed through adaptation. That's what we mean by adaptation. Like, let's talk about something that was adapted horribly. Death Note. When you adapt it for the worst, we are going to hate it. Always. When you change the names and you don't change their attributes to be somewhat similar to what you're looking at and what you're basing it on, maybe perhaps you shouldn't be using that reference point. Maybe perhaps you should be making your own story. Yeah? Make your own story. How about that? Do it. Stop taking from other people's greatness. You lazy. You're lazy. A good adaptation would be Merlin. Of the Arthurian lore. Merlin is supposed to be older than Arthur. However, in the show Merlin is almost the same age as Arthur. I don't know what age they're supposed to be, but they're around the same age. So you can adapt it and change the story a little bit, but it actually has to make sense. And Gwen being black did not change the story. She was a servant. What more do you guys want? You always want black people to be mammies and servants. She was a servant. She just so happened to become queen. Spoiler for 4,000 years of this story. Gwen is portrayed as a black woman on Merlin, and a very light-skinned black woman at that, so don't even come at me. But she became queen. Gwen, yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And that's a good adaptation. It was a good adaptation. Merlin the series is a good adaptation of the Arthurian legend. Death Note, the movie on Netflix, is not a good adaptation. Sonic is not a good adaptation of Sonic the Hedgehog the game. None of these movies you guys are making are good adaptations because you don't have people that care about this stuff on your team. The least you can do is have one fan that you pay. Yes, you pay money because people are going to come and see this and it's going to be nostalgia anyway. You pay them to do it right instead of getting these multi-million-dollar people who have nothing better to do with their time than to make a disgusting, ugly hedgehog graphic and put it in front of us with Jim Carrey so that half of the people that are watching only come for Jim Carrey. I love Jim Carrey. I have not seen Sonic because I'm not seeing Sonic. It's disgusting and pathetic. But I digress. Sleeping Dogs is pretty great. It's basically like Asian GTA. It takes place in China, Hong Kong. And you can, like, jack people, you can kill people, you can do whatever. It's just like the cops. I really don't remember if the cops come at you because I haven't played it in a while. But the story is really good. It's about crooked things, crooked cops, stuff going on, triads. Good game. Look into it. I'll make a video about Sleeping Dogs more intricately on a different video. Number 7, We Happy Few. The story is so unique yet relatable. Like, it's about, like, I think it has to do with Nazis and stuff. I'm really still not, I'm still unsure of what it's about really, because they talk about sending the children away. I'm still like halfway through We Happy Few, but it's basically they call it a country, but it's pretty small. I haven't seen a map of it completely, so I'm not sure if it's a small country or not, but where I've been, it's pretty small. They have to take these happy pills, and they always have to be happy, or else they're called downers, and the downers are like the people who live out in the sticks and are gross and have no clothes, and they get mad at you if you don't wear the right clothes places, and everything is great. It would be a great movie. I don't understand why it hasn't been a movie yet. Honestly. Number 8, Skyrim. Many stories that can be told through what? A Netflix series. Yes. Each race have its own story. Possibly, like, the orc and Nords can go first if that's how y'all want to play the game. Then Argonian, then Khajiit. They could each have their own story. It could be an anthology that all lines up together at the end for the main storyline of Skyrim. And then DLCs, particular DLCs like the Dawn Guard can be added in there. It's just such a good game. Like Skyrim can completely switch how people like watch medieval shows. Number 9, Haunting Ground. I never played Haunting Ground ever, but I've seen playthrough after playthrough. It looks so much fun. The story needs more elaboration completely. So putting it in a movie would be great. And the greatest thing of all time, despite the character looking like Jill Valentine, she's just some white girl. You can get your local popular white girl and throw her in there if y'all want to, because y'all sick and disgusting. But since you guys are like that, you can just throw it in there and we'd be fine. Like, we'd be completely fine. Because there's no facial features. There's nothing about this white girl that would make me be like, well, she doesn't look like that. Unless you completely make her somebody else, like you do everything. It's easy to cast because she's one of the only people that are seen. And then there's another woman, and then there's a guy. Like, there's only like 3 people in it. It could be just like one of those The Room type of situations where it just takes place in one place. Like Saw 1. It could be like, I don't know. It's a good game from what I've seen. Okay. Now the last one is my favorite game of all time. And it's a game that I want them to remake before Resident Evil 4, which I know they won't because there's a few things in this game that people may construe as anti-LGBTQ. But I really don't believe that it has to do with that. Resident Evil, Code Veronica. Great characters. Claire's story, Steve Burnside's just there. Chris comes in. It's the only time Chris and Claire get to even look at each other in the game series. Like, they're always in different games and they're always like missing each other. It's the best Resident Evil, only even rivaled by Resident Evil 0. That is a good game that could be put into a movie if y'all felt like it. Honestly. But yeah, those are the 10. All of those, everything that I ever talked about, I will eventually talk about on this crap on YouTube, okay? I just wanted to give y'all a little taste of my favorite video games that I would believe would be best suited to be a movie. Like, I'm pretty sure you have to be a bumbling, tumbling, fumbling, dumbling loser idiot to mess these up because they have such potential. What doesn't have potential is Pac-Man, is Sonic. You know, those little games where you just run in one line, like Mario. Mario has evolved, but I'm not advocating for no Donkey Kong game because it's just a slider game. The only slider game that I would ever associate with the silver screen would be Little Nightmares, because Little Nightmares, even though they don't talk, you can make a movie. We didn't used to have sound. Get it together. How about you do something? How about you be original? If you can't get it together with these video games and turn them into movies properly and just suck the teat of every person who likes these games and just exploits them and takes their money, then you need to go on home. We don't want you here. You can leave. Bye. Because I am so sick of y'all taking people's money, because you're not taking my money. I'm not going to see Sonic. Are you crazy? You dumb? I'm not going to see Sonic. I'm never going to go see Sonic. And so sorry for Jim Carrey that you're not going to get my tulips for that. But I'm not going to go see no garbage. And you guys just keep making garbage. You have everything at your disposal. Billions and billions, billions and billions and millions of tulips. And you just throw it in the trash. You just throw it in the trash. I'm done.